Are we on? Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look, guys, I'm gonna level with everybody right now. I'm gonna level with everybody and be like, hashtag real fam, keeping it real, everything. This situation is getting worse and worse. I'm talking about the Huntingdon train stabbing incident. I'm going to briefly touch on that today, and then I'm going to give you guys the urgent notice that everybody has 2 days to get ready. And if you can, you kind of need to evacuate from that area. But listen, guys, I guess we're on now. Can you do me a real big favor before we get into this live stream? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things to help this channel grow. I don't want to dwell on that. I want to get into the content because, like I said, I don't really know. I think this is going to be a long one. I will try and get this through in about an hour. So how do I even start with this? So, the man who allegedly attempted to transcend 10 people to a beam of light like a couple of days ago. Well, it turned like this plot is just getting thicker, guys. Okay, I'm going to read you now from the BBC. I'm going to read you live reporting from the BBC, and then I'm going to ask some serious questions that I think everybody needs to be asking and everybody needs to have in their mind now, like these questions, because you are not safe. We are not safe. People really need to people really need to insist on family lockdowns, family curfews whereby everybody's in the house before 8 o'clock, none of this wild partying because it's just not safe anymore, guys. So I'm just going to read you guys this, okay? Police are investigating whether Anthony Williams, the suspect in the knife attack on a train in Cambridgeshire, is linked to 3 other recent incidents. Cambridge Police, this is not me, guys, this is Cambridge Police, says these incidents include of a 14-year-old on Friday and 2 reports of a man seen with a knife in a barber shop. And look, guys, I've seen that footage. I've seen the other footage. If the cap fits, wear it. So the 32-year-old suspect has appeared in court charged with 11 counts of attempted, the thing that these people do, following a train attack and a separate incident in London hours before. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make this stuff up. Now, you all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, you all know what I'm talking about. So on there was the 10 attempts of attempted, unaliving on the train and a separate incident before that. So this guy's just been running amok with his sharp, pointy thing. Now, that's been done to death. Lots of people commenting on that, and I'm in the direction of travel of most normal, sane people. What I want to do is I want to present a question to you guys, and this is the question, okay? The question is this. The police are investigating whether Anthony Williams, the suspect in a knife attack on a train in Cambridgeshire, is linked to 3 other incidents. So if we take, for example, the incident on the train, the incident before the train, and the 3 other incidents, if this guy, Anthony Williams, had not got onto the train and there'd not been such a high profile event, would we even find out about this in the mainstream media? Would we even find out about this? That's the first question. The second question is, how many more people like this are just going on knife rampages? I don't know the answer to that, guys. I really don't. I know knife crime in the United Kingdom has absolutely rocketed over the last few years. Absolutely rocketed. So my question is this, okay? My first question is, if this guy wanted for 4 incidents, you've got the The 3 incidents that he is being investigated over right now, as the police, Cambridgeshire police are talking about, and then the incident beforehand, before he got onto the train, would we even know about this in the mainstream media, or would we just be going, da 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 da, everything is fine in the Shire, everything is fine in the Shire, they keep their nose out in other people's business and not alarm them, you know. And the second question is, how many more of these people are running around doing isolated attacks? So they're just running up and going, puh, 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 and running off, and they're not being caught. Because it does look like this guy had done multiple... I'm speculating here, guys, and I'm speculating. I think it's fair to speculate because the police are investigating. This is from the BBC, guys, okay? And I get a lot of people in the comments, Sean, why are you commenting on the BBC? Well, I'm commenting on the BBC because if I comment on the BBC, I can't get done for fake news. Do you know what, actually? I suppose we're not streaming on TikTok anymore, so... yeah, maybe I should stop commenting on the BBC. But look, I'm reading off the BBC. So the BBC are claiming that the police are investigating whether Anthony Williams, the suspect in the knife attack on the train in Cambridgeshire, is linked to 3 other incidents. So you've got the 3 incidents there. There was also an incident before this guy got on a train. So that's 4. But they're not counting that as a separate incident. They're counting that as the same thing. So that's 4. So that's 5. So this guy, if he didn't get on a train, you know, if he didn't get on that train and there wasn't a mass incident, would we even know about it? Would we even know about this? And if not, how many more of these people are running around, guys? How many more of these people are going stabby, stabby, rammy, rammy, whatever, whatever, in London, in Cambridge, in Birmingham, in Manchester? How big is this actual problem? And is there any metrics of this? I don't think I think this is the canary in the coal mine, guys. Certainly for me, this is the canary in the coal mine. You know how you get that, what's it called? The pyramid of, the iceberg. It's like the iceberg. Like, I think like 70% of the iceberg is under the water. And people use that to say, like, I think they use it in health and safety. I'm pretty sure they use it in health and safety. So if you get a few incidents of a certain nature when you're doing like health and safety RAMs, risk assessment matrix, that means there's a lot more stuff under the surface. And that's what I think right now, guys. Listen, guys, you know, you guys have been following me for a while. You guys know how my mind works. When I hear something, I go to all the other possible outcomes. I'm like, right, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I do that almost instantaneously. So there are my questions, guys. There are my questions, okay? If this guy had not been on the train, would we know about him? And how many more people like this are running around with knives doing stabby stabby and we just don't know about it because the police are keeping a lid on it? I don't know the numbers, guys. I'm not even going to speculate the numbers because I have no idea. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, right, let's get back on track. That was just like a side, that was just a little side quest, and I don't know the answers to those. What I want to talk about now, guys, is the urgent news. You know, if you live in Birmingham, you literally right now, guys, you have 2 days to prepare. And I'm not just going to say Birmingham, actually. I'm going to expand that to the whole of the United Kingdom. Because things that happen in one part of the United Kingdom often happen in other parts of the United Kingdom, in big cities. So Birmingham, Sheffield, Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle doesn't really get much, does it? Newcastle's you never hear of one of these attacks coming from Newcastle, do you? You never hear one of these attacks coming from Newcastle. That's just come to my head then. Anyway, look, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about obviously is the in fact, let me get this up on the where's my I've not deleted. There we are. More than 700 extra police officers prepare to mount an operation for Aston Villa's UEFA Europe League match against Maccabi Tel Aviv. Hundreds of officers have been drafted in to police this match. I'm going to give you guys what the BBC are saying, and then I'm going to give you guys the context of this. So last month, remember, guys, you know, some people are saying like, Sean, you're an Israel shill. I'm totally not. I mean, I wish I was. I'd be driving a Ferrari and stuff. But like, you know, I'm giving you guys my objective analysis of what's happening. And I will come on to that because I'm going to name names. I am, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to name names. I'm going to give Wikipedia links. I'm going to give mainstream media articles. And I'm going to let you guys connect the dots. And wherever those dots are connected, that is totally on you. So this was updated an hour ago, okay, guys? So warnings of disruption have been issued as more than 700 extra police officers prepared to mount an operation for Aston Villa's UEFA Europe League against Maccabi Tel Aviv. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a football guy. I do guns, tanks, bombs, trains, planes, automobiles. I do tactics, strategy. I do kung fu, hu-fu, jiu-jitsu, Imad, Van Damme, Bruce Lee, Toucan, Van Damme. I do all that sort of stuff, guys. Okay, football is not my thing. So I have had to have a little bit of a dig. I have had to have a little deeper dig into this. So officers will be keeping the public safe. I don't think they will. And to tackle any crime and disorder on Thursday. West Midlands Police said with police, horses, dogs, the forces, drone unit and road policing officers out in Birmingham. Planned protests include one by supporters of Palestine who want the match to be called off. Last month, a decision to ban Tel Aviv's fans from the event became the focus of parliamentary-level debate. The Israeli club later said supporters would not travel to Birmingham for safety reasons. Guys, I promise you, I am going to come on to this in a minute, and I'm going to let you guys make your own mind up, but I'm going to give you some facts. I'm going to give you some links, and I'm going to tell you guys what the mainstream media have said previously, and then I'm going to let you guys make up your own minds. Last month, a decision to ban Tel Aviv fans from the event became the focus of Parliament. Oh, I've just read that. Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Stop the War Coalition, Muslim Association of Britain, Friends of Alaska, Kashmir Solidarity Campaign and the Palestinian Forum in Britain have all called for the match to be cancelled and jointly organised the protest. So you can imagine the type of people who are going to be turning up to this event, can't you guys? Like, you know, Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Stop the War Coalition. I wonder if Stop the War Coalition, I wonder if any of those people on Stop the War Coalition were out on the streets celebrating when the war started. I don't know. That's just a question. I don't know the answer. The Muslim Association of Britain. What a fantastic association that is, guys. How do I become a member? Friends of Alaska, which is the mosque, which is the big mosque. Kashmir Solidarity Campaign and Palestine Forum in Britain. So all these people are calling for the match to be banned, and they're calling, this is the mob, as far as I'm concerned, and they're calling for this match to be banned. They're the facts, ladies and gentlemen. They are the facts. I'm going to give you guys some context now about these facts. So, and I'm going to give a little monologue. So, excuse me. There's a lot of information I want to get to you guys, so please stick with this, all right? And make up your own mind, all right? Make up your own mind, okay? Please make up your own mind, okay? So the fan ban and risk assessment. So mid-October 2025, Birmingham Safety Advisory Group, SAG, comprising of police, council officials and safety experts, banned fans from Israel attending the match on public safety grounds. West Midlands Police classified the fixture as high risk based on intelligence about potential violence. This decision was influenced by Guys, honestly, like, please stick with me, and you're going to get all these. You're going to get all this information. You're going to be able to pin this together yourself, and you're going to be able to get your, you're going to be able to understand who really runs the councils. Previous incidents: violent clashes and hate crimes during a November 2024 Europa League match between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax in Amsterdam, where fans were involved in street fights and anti-Semitic incidents. Now, I'm getting this, guys, from mainstream media. That's what I'm getting this information from, guys, okay? That is what the mainstream media are calling the November 2024 Europa League match between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax. I think, am I saying that right, guys? I'm not a football guy. Ajax in Amsterdam, where fans were involved in street fights and anti-Semitic incidents. That's what the mainstream media are reporting. So what we know is one of the reasons, one of the decisions that influenced the decision. Sorry, one of the incidents that influenced. Sorry, guys. One of the incidents that influenced this decision to ban the fans was the previous incidents. Now, what they're saying is, because when Maccabi Tel Aviv went to Amsterdam, there was a lot of anti-Semitic incidents, they've decided to ban the Israelis. So, look, guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what this says. Does it say to you guys that A, the Tel Aviv fans can't be trusted? Or does it B, say the British fans can't be trusted? And should I call them British? The Aston Villa fans, the Birmingham fans, let's call it the Birmingham fans. Or does it say B, the Birmingham fans can't be trusted to not be, and I don't know what the answer is in this, guys. I'm going to leave it out there for you guys to decide. That is what the mainstream media are telling me what happened previously in Amsterdam. And I will repeat it, guys. There were violent clashes in November 24 when there was a Europa League match between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax. I may be saying that wrong, in Amsterdam, where fans were involved in street fights and anti-Semitic incidents. So what do we think it is, guys? Do we think the Israeli fans are coming over here and being anti-Semitic? Do you think that's what's happening? Do you think that's the likely outcome? I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. Please let me know. I don't know. I'm throwing my hands up here, guys. I'm being totally Plato on this. Or is it Socrates? So you've obviously got the, other incidents. Obviously, you've got the ongoing war in the Middle East, which I do think is a lot further, which has got a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Which I think gives it a lot more, the likelihood of violence makes that a lot higher. So on the 3rd of November, West Midlands Police revealed massive deployment of more than 700 police officers, an unusually large amount of numbers to deal with a match with no official away fans. Does this make any sense to you guys? So who do we think the real threat is? So here's the thing, guys, okay? So just, guys, this is what the mainstream, I'm getting this information from the mainstream media. I promise, like, if you want to call me out and say, Sean, you're bullshitting me, call me a bullshitter, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it, okay? So take what I've just said as context, all right? You know, the previous incidents were from the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans and the Ajax in Amsterdam, where fans were involved in street fights and anti-Semitic incidents. So by banning the Tel Aviv fans, we're going to stop anti-Semitic. I don't know. Make it make sense. Can somebody make it make sense as well? But now we've got, even though the fans, the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans have been banned from attending this football match, they're not coming now. So the violent fans who everybody was, oh, don't let these guys come, they're violent. They've been banned. Okay, they're not coming. but yet we need an extra 700 officers, which is a huge police presence on the streets in Birmingham. Does any of this make sense to you guys? Or could it be something else? Could it be something else, guys? Could it be something else? I'm going to give you a breakdown of these specialists. I'm going to give you a breakdown of these, what the police officers will be doing, guys, okay? To maintain order, safety, democracy. Guys, we really do have mob rule. That's my opinion, okay? That is my opinion right now. We have mob rule in the United Kingdom. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I've not even finished. Guys, I've not even got started on this football game yet. I'm not even a football person. I'm not even a football person, but I did do a little bit of research into this, and the deeper down this rabbit hole you go, it's wild, okay? As soon as I've got this little bit done, guys, I will jump onto the chat, okay? So as of today, 3rd of November, West Midlands Police, like I just said, they're revealing a massive deployment of more than an extra 700 officers, which is relatively large to say that there's no away fans. So the argument breaks down, doesn't it, guys? You see where I'm going with this? If the security advisory group are banning the fans from coming to Birmingham because they say they're violent, okay, they're banned. Why do you need more police? I don't know, guys. That is an open question. Please, somebody put it in the comments. Now, these, this will include, uniformed police officers, ununiformed police officers. I would suspect there's going to be specialized units, police, horse, dogs, extra road police, potentially even private security. I would say there's going to be drone restrictions in and around that area to stop unwanted drones. Remember, what have I said previously about drones? And it's going to be wild, guys, okay? It's going to be absolutely wild. There's going to be protests from various groups. There's going to be pro-Palestine demonstrators. There's going to be, local community protests, and I would speculate there's going to be a big, and I think rightly so as well, I think there's going to be a big turnout from, pro-Jewish communities who say, hang on a minute. This is the United Kingdom. We have law, we have order, we have a democracy. We don't ban fans from coming to our country because we're worried about violence. What we do is we have a robust police force that will arrest anybody who breaks the law, and they will be dealt with in accordance with whatever laws they've broken. I don't know, guys. It's just wild. It is absolutely wild. Right, ladies and gentlemen, you fantastic lot. I'm going to jump onto the chat, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on now and you've not done so already, can you make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff on your social media, all that stuff, guys. It really helps me out. For the members, if you guys want to become a member to the growing, beautiful community we've got, we are, well, I'm not going to start. I do private members only videos, guys. So I hope you guys want to jump onto that. And as we get more members, I'll start doing members only live streams. Right, guys, the chat has gone absolutely crackers this evening. Right, I am going to jump down to the bottom so I can get the most relevant. Oh, hang on a minute, actually. SL is saying, I work for a Dutch company based in Amsterdam. I work for the UK, but but travel there often. So are you talking about Amsterdam has gone to poopsies, or are you talking about the United Kingdom? Oh, well, maybe both. When I travel, I do go through Amsterdam quite a lot, and I only go through the airport, really. Zoe Dean is saying West Midlands police are a bit backwards as standard. Sister Cara is saying they were ambushed by scum in the Netherlands, so now we ban the victims. Listen, guys, I don't want to comment. I just want to give you guys the facts, okay? Look, I get a lot of stuff. I get a lot of like inbox messages saying, Sean, you're a paid Israeli troll. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm just calling out things as I see them. Yes, I totally agree. And I totally understand how people think that the Israelis are going full frontal in Gaza. What do I always say, guys? I'm a guy with a military background, and I always say this: avoid wars at all costs. If you find yourself in a war, you win that at all costs. Wars are brutal. Wars are violent. Wars are dirty. You know, I don't think people understand what war actually means. And those people who are saying, yeah, we're going to call up. Yeah, you don't understand what that means, guys. You've never had that sticky stuff in your fingers. I promise you. If you ever have that sticky stuff in your fingers and it's like one of your mates, you don't want that shit ever again for anyone. And you kind of like want to tell people not to do that stuff. But equally, if that sticky stuff's going to get, if that sticky stuff's going to be deployed, you don't want it to be yours. And the only way to stop that, you go hard, you go fast, you go violent, and you get it over and done with as quickly as possible. Sean McKay is saying, I've seen many upsetting videos about the issues in Sudan. I know we have issues here in the UK, but then yeah, guys, it's absolutely insane what's happening right now. There is... Right now in Africa, it's not just Sudan. There's other, Sudan, Nigeria, potentially places in Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is not democratic and it's not a republic. So there's lots of places where Christian communities are being absolutely wiped out. Absolutely wiped out. Street Vida is saying you've spent years in the Middle East and say Semitic, not do you have a do you eat so Street Vida? Do you eat scones or scones, or do you eat tomatoes or tomatoes? Do you go on holiday in Kenya or Kenya? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Listen. I'm a fully qualified English gentleman, all right? Hang on, let me get that comment back up. Right? Whatever I pronounce a word, that is the correct pronunciation. Because if it's in English, I'm a fully qualified English gentleman. You can trace my heritage in the United Kingdom back to the 11th century. You can, good sir. So, whatever I say, that's the right pronunciation. And whatever pronunciation somebody else is saying, that's just wrong. All right. It's just wrong. All right. It's my birthright. Because I'm a fully qualified English gentleman, I have the right to make up words. I do. That's just the reality. If you don't like it, go speak another language. Go speak, I don't know. Go speak one of the 700 dialects of Arabic. Go speak Pashto. Go speak Baghdadabic. Go speak Kurdish, whatever, but don't question me on my English when I'm a fully qualified English gentleman with the birthright to make up my own words. Yeah, good luck. Right, I'm going to jump down, guys. I'm going to jump down. There's loads of questions on the chat, guys. Lisa Jane is saying, I'm sure we will have lots of fun with him, Slim. I love being with my daughter. I'm okay. I feel better. Okay. Oh, I think you guys are just talking among yourselves. Right, guys, I'm going to jump back. I'm going to jump back in a second and give you guys more of the wild context about this football game. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, of course, if he was an Israeli troll, he wouldn't be saying these things. And yeah, I get that. But what else can I say? I'm calling these things out as I'm seeing them. Okay. So here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing real quick before we go on. Back in 2025, not 2025, back in November 24, there was a football game between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax in Amsterdam. This, guys, I'm getting this from the mainstream media, okay? Where fans were involved in street fights and anti-Semitic incidents. That's what the mainstream media is telling me. I wasn't there. I don't know. If somebody presents me with better or more diverse information, I'll totally accept it. But I'm not a football guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking, right, okay, so the last time the Israelis had what is it, the Tel Aviv Football Club. Guys, I'm crap with football. I do apologize. There were anti-Semitic people attacking the Israelis. So the British solution is to ban the Tel Aviv fans. Now, does that A, say that the Tel Aviv fans can't be trusted, or B, that the British fans can't be trusted? I don't know, guys. You let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. That's the reality, okay? That's what the mainstream media are talking about. Shall I give further context, or shall I go on to I don't know if I should go further context or not. Oh, hang on. So Silly Gallardi has jumped up. She's in Israel, as I understand it, and she's saying, honestly, at this point, I don't care, like us or not, we will win and make sure 7-10 will not happen again. Well, that sounds like feisty fighting talk, Silly. That sounds like feisty fighting talk, and you know what? More power to you. More power to you. Right, I'm going to jump down here, guys. I'm going to give like a little bit of a monologue here, guys. So please just bear with it. Please just bear with it. Because it's not just... I'll give a little monologue, guys, and then I'll jump back onto the question, onto the chat. So the UEFA Europe... Guys, I'm terrible with football. I am. If this was guns, bombs, tanks, planes, trains, automobiles, I'd be all over this, all right? It's football. I'm not really into watching men running around on a field, getting really passionate about kicking a ball. I'm not really into that, but whatever, we'll go with it. But because this is something I feel is going to be chaos. So the UEFA Europa League match between Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv on November the 6th at Villa Park, Birmingham is already classed as a high-risk event by West Midlands Police due to potential protests and geopolitical tensions to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, there are prominent groups attending this, which are going to amplify the risk. Obviously, previously, I spoke about the pro-Palestine part of this. Now, as we understand it, Tommy Robinson's just back from Israel, and he's planning a protest down there. The reality is, guys, there's going to be a lot of people down there. There's going to be pro-Israel. There's going to be anti-Muslim. There's going to be pro... There's just going to be all sorts of different groups down there, guys. You know, it would be very difficult for me to be able to name each different type of group and their affinity with those groups. However, based on recent public statements and historical incidents, the likelihood of violence, I would estimate, is... And I'm trying to be conservative here, guys. I would say the likelihood of violence is high. And that's my estimate, guys, okay? So I would say the likelihood of violence in Birmingham on the 6th of November is high. They're my estimates, guys, okay? They are my estimates based on everything that we know and all the information put in. And if this was a risk assessment matrix or something, or like, what's the one you do in... Somebody help me out. What's the one you do in the military? I can't remember. If this was if I was doing this as a military risk assessment, I would say the risk is high. I wouldn't say it's very high, because very high would be like inevitable. So you never go with a very high. So this is the highest I would go with this. You know, without it being inevitable. Yes, of course, there may be very bad rain. The rain may come down and it may absolutely rain everything off. That may be a reality. You know, that may happen. I don't think it's going to happen. There may be alternate scenarios where the match is called off and nobody turns up. But I'm basing this on my experience, guys, my estimations, and I'm saying the risk of violence on the 6th of November between the Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv football game in Birmingham, that risk is high. Now, what I want to do, guys, I want to try and break down as much as do you know what? Do I want to do this? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break down the groups. I'm not going to break down the group because it doesn't mean anything anyway. If anybody wants me to break down the groups that are going to be attending as best as I've done, let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, I don't want to do that. I'm just looking at the time and I want to get onto the other stuff that we're going to be talking about. Okay, so let me give you guys my overall likelihood and potential scenarios. Okay, so I think it's almost inevitable that there's going to be isolated scuffles, minor disruptions, minor low-level clashes between fans. And I would say that would be, you know, anything up to 50 people arrested. That's what I would class as the most likely. You know, anything over 50, 50 people arrested, then we're looking at something higher. Worst case would be escalation of riots if groups collide, either the far right versus the pro-Palestine, mirroring the Amsterdam clashes, would be triggered by potentially inflammatory speeches by whatever people on the Birmingham pro-Palestine side and inflammatory statements by whoever on the other side. So when these speeches happen, remember, for every defense, there's an offense. Sorry, remember, for every offense, there is a defense. We will not stand. The people of Birmingham will always stand with the people of Palestine. Hear me, big up. Those type of people. Listen, guys, you know that guy, what's his name? Akub. I think I'd get on with Akub. I think I would, guys. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I think I'd have a little soft spot for Akub. I think he's quite funny. But you go understand there's going to be rival groups, rival factions. The country as it is right now is an absolute hotbed. It's a hotbed, guys. People are gonna be triggered. People are gonna want to go and do whatever. And look, let's not pretend we don't have a massive stabby, rammy, blowy culture in the United Kingdom, because we do. I actually think there's a low chance. And I mean, I think there's a 10% chance of this being peaceful. That's where I'm going with that, guys. I think this is a 10%. I think there's a 10% chance that this is going to be peaceful. They're my estimates anyway, guys. I think there's a 10% chance of this being peaceful. The most likely, I feel there's going to be at least 50, up to 50 arrests. I think there's going to be that's the most likely. I don't think there's going to be any more than 50 arrests, but who knows, guys? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you guys this as real-time analysis. I'm doing for you guys what I used to do for the government and give you guys my real-time analysis of what's happening. So if a government official came up to me and said, Sean, what do you think is going to happen? That is what I would tell them. I think there's only a 10% chance of this football game on the 6th of November going without incident, So I would say there's a 90% chance of there being incident. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, the United Kingdom right now is an absolute powder keg. And you know what, guys? It's a powder keg and it's not rained for a while. That means the powder is very dry. Right, let me jump onto the chat. I think I need a wee, guys. I really do think I need to go for a wee. Listen, guys, if you're on, do me a real big up favor. Hashtag one time, feeling me fam. Right, all that shit. Like, comment, subscribe, share, bell notifications, all those things, guys. All those things that help this channel grow. Somebody's mentioned Lord of the Rings. Who's mentioning Lord of the Rings here? James, you blew it. You mentioned Right, who's mentioned Lord of the Rings? Somebody's mentioned Lord of the Rings. Who mentioned Lord of the Rings? Oh, I can't find them. Somebody's mentioned Lord of the Rings and I can't find it. Oh, I'm gutted. Right, I'm going to jump to the bottom, guys. Oh, hang on. from now is saying, oh, fuck. Right, earlier on I did a video, I said, congratulations everyone, we've gone 24 hours without an incident in the United Kingdom. Right, let me jump up, guys, and get this. London Bridge. Right, let's get this up, guys. I'll share this with you right now. I'm reading this in real time. I'll share this screen with you guys. I'll share this screen with you because I'm good like that. Right, what do we know, ladies and gentlemen? London Bridge. I'm just going to jump up, guys, okay? Listen, London Bridge evacuated. Police swarm major train stations again. What did I say this morning, ladies and gentlemen? I said train stations are being targeted. If that's not the best reason to like, follow, subscribe, bell notification, I don't know what is. I'm calling these things before they happen. I've got to go to London at the weekend as well. Police have descended on London Bridge station this evening as passengers reported being evacuated from the platform after reports of a man behaving suspiciously were made. The British Transport Police confirmed that officers have been called to the busy station at 6:30 p.m, with Thameslink also sharing that police were at the station responding to an incident. Officers were called around 6:30 p.m. today, 3rd of November, to reports of a man behaving suspiciously on a train from St Albans. The train was stopped at London Bridge while officers carried out a full search of the train and platform as a precaution. No one matching the description was found. Very peculiar. While officers are satisfied there is no risk to the public, CCTV inquiries are ongoing, and the force added. We apologise for any worry caused by customers. We don't want those customers not paying, and confirm the station has reopened for safe travel through the station. Okay, so it does look like, from what I'm reading here, this was an alarm about nothing, or maybe it wasn't. This is very suspicious to me, though, guys. No one matching the description was found. That's giving me massive goosebumps. That is giving me massive goosebumps because, one of the things you would do if you were an agent provocateur or a tutushka or a agent of an enemy state, you would go into an area, you would conduct whatever suspicious activity. You would behave suspiciously. You would then go into the toilets, change your appearance, and just walk off and blend into the scenery. Maybe even you're there, you're one of the people, you're phoning up. Oh, this has happened. So that is very suspicious to me. Look, guys, listen. Let's be under no illusion. Let's not try and pussyfoot around things. The United Kingdom right now is an absolute, it's an absolute powder keg. At any moment right now, guys, these things could go, these things could go huge. Right, let me jump down, guys. Let me jump down and get these comments. Let me jump down. Best is Dog Soldiers. Sister Cara, are you saying that the movie Dog Soldiers is better than Lord of the Rings? Is that where you're going? I'm not gonna. Do you know what, Sister Cara? I'm not gonna block you for that. But do you know what? Actually, I respect that because Dog Soldiers is a pretty good movie. Yeah, do you know what, guys? I think Dog Soldiers is a pretty good movie. I don't think it's up there with Lord of the Rings, though. I'm not gonna lie. Right, listen, guys, I need to go to the toilet again. I do apologize. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, can you guys give... Yes, David O'Rourke. Where did David O'Rourke? David O'Rourke, yeah. Testing response times. That's what I think a lot of this stuff could be. Probing attacks, testing response time. Where do these people come from? Who closes down what? Where do assets get called from? You know, this happened massively in. I need to go to the toilet. I'll come back. I'll leave that comment on, guys. Listen, I'm just going to run to the toilet. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll come back because I've still got quite a lot to get through. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff, guys, on your socials. That really helps me out. And if you've not become a member yet, guys, you're missing out on the members-only videos. And we are back. Right, so testing response times. The best example of this is, can you guys remember, I think it was earlier this year or maybe last year, there was a bomb threat outside the US Embassy in London. And straight away I was like, this is not a real bomb. This is somebody testing the response time. So what happens is, if you're a bad guy, and I'm going to go with this bomb threat in the US Embassy, the US Embassy in London. There was a bomb threat in the US Embassy in London. I think it was like, it might have been early this year or back end of last year. I can't remember. But what you would do if you were a bad guy, you would send a bomb threat, a credible bomb threat to the US Embassy or wherever, or your potential strike point. And all you're doing is you're looking for response times. You're looking for where the police come from, where people, how long it takes to evacuate people, where they get evacuated to, and how long the police are there. You know, obviously there'll be more stuff than that, but they're the main things you're looking at. You know, why do you think that information is relevant? Because the next time what you could do is you could have a bomb threat in the US Embassy. Right, okay, we know now this is maybe when the police chiefs and the constables have all changed over or whatever, you know, we said, right, okay, we have another bomb threat at the US Embassy. Now we know that the most likely place for them to put the US Embassy staff is in this location, wherever you guys think that is. Guess where the real bomb's going to be? Guess where the real threat's going to be? Yeah, it's going to be when the people have come out of the buildings and they're all congregated together, smoking, having their sandwiches, a little pot of tea or whatever. You know, that's where the real attack is going to happen. You know, that's where the real attack's going to happen. So yes, you know, testing response times is an absolutely massive thing. Joe, let me just jump down, guys. Oh, not again. No, not more. Right, hang on. Let me get this up. Right. Yeah, here we are, guys. Breaking news. I'm reading this from the Daily Mail right now. Jesus, the world is fucking crazy. We are living in crazy town, guys. We are in crazy town right now. Right, okay. I'm reading this, guys, from this breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Active shooter in the University of Virginia. Okay, this is from 17 minutes ago. University of Virginia students told to run and hide amid active shooter situation. Students at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville were told to run, hide, and fight. Does that sound like something I've told you? Following reports that there was an active shooter on campus. Police division sent an alert just after 3 p.m. Monday, which is obviously their time's different to ours. Students and faculty members to flee amid active shooter situation. The alleged gunman, who is yet to be found, fired shots near Shannon Library, according to police. Emergency alert, active shooter with a gun reported in the area of Shannon Library, 160 Cormac Road. Run, hide, fight, warning stated. Guys, look, I can't tell. I don't want to share this with you because I'm full of ads. But that is what everybody's talking about doing, guys. Okay, you run, you hide, you fight, in that order. The British government, it fucking pisses me off. The government advice in the UK is to run, hide, tell. It winds me up so much, guys. I got offered like $1,000 a day to do this, to do these presentations. And it was run, hide, tell. And I said, I'm not doing that, mate. He said, what do you mean? I said, Steve, I'm not doing that, mate. It's bullshit. He says, yeah, I know, but it's $1,000 a day. I said, I know it's $1,000 a day, but it's bullshit. He said, well, just say whatever you want. I said, mate, I'll do the presentation. You can say whatever you want, but I'm going to teach run, hide, fight, because that is the algorithm. That's what's going to save lives. Can you just imagine it, guys? Can you imagine it now? If you're following the British government advice, you run, hide, and tell. So the bad guys are chasing you. Right. Remember, guys, UK, there was an incident back in, I can't remember when it was. I think it was the 80s. It might have been the 90s. There was an incident of a police officer shooting at somebody. They then went to reload, but rather than reload, they started picking their empty shells up off the floor. And people are like, what the fuck? There's a bad guy running at you. You start picking your empty shells up. It's because in these high stress situations, your fucking brain freezes, guys. Trust me, your brain will freeze and you will remember what you have been taught. And if you're taught, you run, you hide, and you tell. Can you imagine now the big bad man coming towards you with the big sharp pointy thing that you eat your dinner with that's not a spoon and it's not a fork? And he's walking towards you and you're like, right, I've run, I've hid, now I must tell. And everybody's on their phones like that. Yes, 999. Yes, I'd like to report an incident. And like, you can imagine it, can't you, in a fucking classroom or something, right? You've got everybody around the classroom. Maybe it's in a supermarket. You've got everybody around there in the supermarket and everybody's like, oh yeah, we've got to run, we've run, we've hid, and now we've got to, literally, you've got motherfuckers on their phones right now say, all phone in 999. Hello, police, yes, I'd like to report an... Next one. Oh, yes, well, I'm not allowed to fight because the government says I've got to tell. Yes, I'm... It's fucking absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, sorry, guys. I'm going off on a side quest. Police have said when they arrived at the scene in Shannon Library, the preliminary investigation showed no evidence of an attacker, despite their prior warnings. Over 26,000 students are enrolled in the Virginia-based college. Earlier this year in February, the University of Virginia issued a shelter-in-place order amid a frantic search for a suspected gang member, Jesus Christ, who was spotted on their grounds. Staff and students were being urged to avoid Needham Hill. Oh, so Needham Hill is a name. Sorry, I thought that was a place. It's not. I thought Needham Hill was a... It's not. It's a person. This guy's name is Needham Hill, who is described as a 6'1", 170-pound black man wearing a grey hoodie. So he's quite skinny then. He's a skinny guy. He was wanted after he allegedly fled the scene after hitting a state trooper's vehicle following a traffic stop. Okay, so I do think what's happened is, look, guys, and I'm reading this in real time. This is a developing situation with the active shooter situation in Virginia. I'm reading into this now. Somebody's been there. A few rounds have been fired, and then somebody's ran off. I don't think this is an active shooter situation where somebody's going through the school door by door, room by room, clearing those rooms. Guys, I'm not even going to get a chance to finish. I'm not going to get a chance to finish. Let me jump down and get this chat, guys, because thank you, guys. SL is saying, learn boxing, guys, and footwork. I would say no. Go to jiu-jitsu, guys. Go to jiu-jitsu. Go to jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is the best one. The gentle way. And there's a bomb. There's a bomb that's been disarmed. Oh, God, guys. Let me have a little drink. Let me have a drink. I'm not on TikTok anymore. Right, okay. Where's this bomb been, guys? I've got no idea. I've got no idea where this bomb's been. Philip Gray is saying, I've got a very specific... isn't it a very particular set of skills? People need to learn boxing so they know how to move and dodge. I don't think they do, guys. I think if any... Look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, right? When people... Like, there's a lot of people on the internet right now coming out talking about their, there's a lot of people coming out on the internet saying, carry this in your bag, carry that in your bag, do this, do that. It's all bullshit, guys. It's all bullshit. All right. I've done a lot of boxing in my time. All right. If I was a 50-kilo woman and I was coming up to a fight against a 100-kilo man, ain't gonna work. Doesn't matter about my footwork. The only thing I would say to you guys to learn is jiu-jitsu or potentially Krav Maga. Krav Maga there's not that many good Krav Maga classes in the UK. I would go with the jiu-jitsu one. I would go with I'm not going to promote any, guys. Go with the jiu-jitsu class. And rather than focus on a million different moves, focus on 10 different moves and become a master in those moves, whatever they are. Oh, we've all started talking about different fighting styles now, haven't we? We all started talking about different fighting styles. Philip Gray saying, Jesus Christ, I know it's the week, but I'm getting hammered. The world's literally... It has. It's gone crackers. It's gone crackers. Sister Cara, yeah, I agree. If you can find a good Krav Maga class, go to a Krav Maga class, okay? Krav Maga was developed by the Israeli military as a fighting style, and you can learn Krav Maga in like 2 weeks. Russia threatens to let nuclear weapons fly at NATO as World War III fears explode. Yeah, look, guys, you guys know what I think. You guys know what I think about nuclear weapons. I'm not convinced they're ever going to get work. I'm not convinced they're ever going to get used. If they are going to get used, what we're going to see before those nuclear weapons being used is a series of tests. So we're going to see the United States test their nuclear weapons. We're going to see the Russians test their nuclear weapons. And until that happens, yes, from now, if I was to advise anyone, I would give that advice and run. That and run. Costa Peratios. Sean, have you now completely left TikTok? No, I've not completely left TikTok. I've not. It's just when I'm streaming on TikTok and when I'm streaming on YouTube, it's a totally different. It's a totally different. It's a totally different concept. Not a concept. It's a totally different environment. When I'm streaming on TikTok, literally. So I'll give you an example. Last week or like 2 weeks ago or whatever, somebody called me a retard on the chat, and I was reading the comment and I was saying like, I don't know, user 45 whatever just called me a, and I got blocked for that. And then I appealed that block, and I appealed it, and they said, what is the reason for you appealing this thing? I said, well, I didn't actually call anybody that name. Somebody called it me, and I was just repeating what they said to me. And like I got blocked for that. And so I'm like, is there really any point in me like live streaming on TikTok anymore when it's so restrictive? And I'm like, why do you even do this to me, guys? Like, why are they even doing that to me? So I've not left TikTok, obviously. I am just going to continue to live stream on here. I may do live streams on TikTok if there's something really relevant, and I don't think I'm going to get done. But as far as the daily live streams, I'm going to stick with YouTube, guys. You know, it doesn't block me all the time. Which is just, you know, when I'm trying to get a message across and I'm worried about the words I'm saying, it's very difficult. Right, let me jump up and get some... Deb Lou is saying fear-mongering this. So talking about TikTok's fear-mongering, can you give context, Deb Lou? Deb Lou, can you give context? Because I don't know how talking about TikTok is fear-mongering, but whatever. Alex Cameron is saying World War III. Oh my God, Alex Jones thought it was World War IV. Right, let me just throw this out there. Guys, okay? I'm claiming that World War IV is going to start before... I'm going to claim World War IV started before World War III. I am. That's what I'm claiming. I don't know if Alex Jones is on the same page as me. He may be. He may not be. He may be watching. I mean, the guy there, Deb Lou, that may be Alex Jones on a pseudonym. But when we're talking about global conflicts, you know, we've got the green military conflicts, which are going to be, it's going to be Iran, it's going to be China, it's going to be Ukraine, Russia. They're going to be the big conflicts. You're going to have Pakistan, India. You're going to have Afghanistan. You're going to have various places all over the world. Oh, you're going to have the Falkland Islands. You know, the Falklands. They're going to kick off again. Argentina. That's all going to be World War III. World War IV, which I think started before World War III, is going to be the civil conflicts in Europe, the civil conflicts in Canada, the civil conflicts in America, the civil conflicts all over the world. That is going to be the World War IV because that's going to last longer. Ich bin gut. I don't even know what that means. I think that means I am good in German. I think that's what that means. Zoe Dean is saying I'm 4'11", so basically everyone is taller than me. I'm just thinking, try their knees and run. Zoe Dean, I would say, listen, Zoe Dean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm going to say at 4'11", I think running must. I think try and avoid conflict and run if you can. Right, guys, listen, let me jump back over to this because I've still got quite a lot to get through. I've not even, what time is it? Right. I'm at a crossroads now, guys. So I've probably got another half an hour to do. Probably got another half an hour to do. Right, okay. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to try and So I've probably got another half an hour, but I'm going to try and condense this really quickly. I'm going to try and condense this really, really quickly. So let's just go back real quick to the football game. What's it called? The Maccabi Tel Aviv versus Aston Villa. Now, this is on the 6th of November this year, so like 2 days or whatever. Now, it's going to be carnage. I'm suspecting that there is a 10% chance, maybe even less. I would say 10% chance that this is going to be peaceful. And by that, I'm saying 90% chance that it's not going to be peaceful. I'm speculating there's going to be 50 arrests. That's what I'm going with, guys. 50 arrests. And when I say that I'm speculating there's going to be 50 arrests, that's what I think is the most likely. If there's more, there may be more. If there's less, I doubt it. That's where I'm going, guys. That's the number I'm putting. Again, I may be slightly wrong, guys. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to predict arrests. It is, but I've given you guys a number because I thought you guys deserve it. So we're talking about that now, and I just want to go to you guys and talk about. So the decision to ban the Israeli fans came down ultimately to a group called the what's it called? The Risk Advisory Group. What's it called? Not the Risk. Sorry, guys, it's off the top of my head. Birmingham's Safety Advisory Group. So you guys can go and Google this if you want. Birmingham's Safety Advisory Group. Now, a few key players in Birmingham's Safety Advisory Group are Councillor Wasim Zafar. Now, Wasim Zafar is in charge of emergency planning. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about Wasim Zafar. So, Wasim Zafar is a Labour Party. He's a Labour Party councillor. He's been a councillor since 2011. He is a social justice campaigner and an advocate for a better environment, political activists. You know, he's got 3 boys. He's an Aston Villa fan. He was born and brought up in Birmingham. He has served as a councillor since 2011 on Birmingham City Council. He has served as a cabinet lead for transport, environment, clean air, climate change, highways, equality, social justice, and community safety. Now, he took over. So the person previously in that role was a gentleman called Ayub Khan. Strong British names, guys. Strong British names, I know. Now, Ayub Khan is a Pakistani-born British politician and barrister who served as a member of parliament for Birmingham since 2024. So I'm reading from this. He used to be a councillor in Birmingham. As soon as he became a member of parliament, then his protege stepped in. Now, just a little bit of information about Wasim Zafar. So I'm reading this, guys, from an article called The Dispatch, and this was produced on the 23rd of the 2nd, 2025 by a gentleman called Jack Walton. Wasim Zafar's house was turned into a filthy HMO he says he had nothing to do with. Former Birmingham City Council cabinet member has previously complained about the excess of HMOs in the city. Wasim Zafar will mean different things to different people in Birmingham. To some, he is one of the city's most accomplished local politicians. And remember, guys, this is one of the people who gave the decision to stop the Tel Aviv fans traveling to Birmingham. So his name will mean a lot different things to different people. Some will say he's one of the city's most accomplished politicians at the forefront of campaigns on clean air, low traffic, neighborhood, as well as Birmingham City's council's former member for transport. Others say he's a highly controversial figure at various times over his career in local politics. He's found himself in the press for the wrong reasons. There have been accusations of bigamy, a high-profile debate over hijabs, and school embezzlement claims that charities he has been connected to. Nonetheless, he remains one of the best-known faces in the local Labour group. For his community work, he has been awarded the Member of the British Empire. Why the fuck do I not have an MBE and fucking Waseed does? Would you not rather the Raven have an MBE? Anyway, as such, it might come to a surprise to you guys that in 2021, Zafar's own property in the area, 123 Leonard Road, was transferred into his sister's name, later to be turned into a poor quality HMO. An HMO of such poor quality, in fact, that one tenant living there in 2023, a young mother with a toddler, had rodents in her bedroom and eventually had to get the council to transfer her to a hotel, while the company in charge of the management received more than $3 million a year from the council. Tell me again, is Birmingham Council doing well with their finances, guys? I don't know. Can somebody put that in the chat? Is Birmingham Council doing well with their finances? I don't know, guys. I'm totally woke. I have no idea. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody can Google real quick, Birmingham finances, Birmingham bankruptcy, Birmingham City Council bankrupt. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know the answer. It's a straight up question. I don't know. Is Birmingham City Council doing well? I'll read you that last statement. I will read you that last sentence again. A young mother with a toddler had rodents in her bedroom when she was staying at the HMO provided by this gentleman, and eventually had to get the council to transfer her to a hotel, all while the company in charge of its management received more than $3 million a year from the council. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Obviously, you know, all these companies are above board and they're paying tax. And of course, absolutely, of course, you know, Waseem Zafar's position as a high-ranking official in Birmingham Council will have absolutely zero influence on who these contracts get awarded to, guys. And if you say they do, you do not believe in the British system, guys. And you do not believe in the British system. I believe in the British system. I believe this is fair and utmost, and good old Waseem will have no say on that. And everything that he's done is of his own merit. So anyway, guys, you know, I really tried to condense that down as much as I can to give you guys a little bit of information about the decision makers. But hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So Lisa Jade is saying Birmingham. I didn't know this, guys. I didn't know this. It's you guys giving me this information. So Birmingham City Council issued a 114 notice in September declaring themselves bankrupt. Oh, okay. So that $3 million they gave to good old Waseem and his company. All right. Okay. Whatever. Oh, do you guys think there's any? Are you guys connecting the dots now? Are you guys connecting the dots? Can you connect the dots, guys? It's phenomenal. While the council is working to implement its balanced budget, it has met the savings targets. Ongoing challenges do not mean the council's financial situation is stable. Okay, so it doesn't look like it is stable, but there we go, guys. You know, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the best. Sean, no, Birmingham Council is not doing well with its finances. Look, guys, you know, you guys can see what's happening right now, can't you? You can see what's happening. It's unbelievable. We have I'm speculating now, ladies and gentlemen. I am speculating right now. What I'm going to say now is not based on fact. It's based on my own speculation, my own analysis. And you know what, guys? I'm going to put a little. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say this is going to be a little bit of my own biases as well. So I'm going to speculate that Birmingham Council is massively run by people who are predominantly Muslim. They are using taxpayer-funded projects to fund themselves through back channels. And they don't want the Israeli football team turning up because they don't want them turning up. And also, they can't control their own communities. That's what I'm saying, guys. That's my opinion, all right? Whether you agree with that or not, that's totally fine. Totally up to you guys. Whether you guys want to call me out for being whatever, that is absolutely fine. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've massively condensed that last bit. I did have a big thing to go on. But look, guys, if you guys want to go and Google those people, Wasim Zafar, you know, he to me is the main... he's the main instigator of this. Also, Ayub Khan, sorry. I think he was the guy. I'm pretty sure, and I may be wrong on this, I think Ayub Khan was the guy who was advocating for cousin marriages. I think he was... Let me just Google this. No, I can't. So I've just done Ayub Khan because of marriage, and apparently there was a field marshal. Fucking hell. Stop sleeping with your cousins. It's wrong. Field Marshal Ayub Khan, the former president of Pakistan, was indeed married to his cousin. Her name was Halmia Khan, and she was affectionately known as Maji, or dear mother. This is common practice in villages in Pakistan and in many traditional Pakistani. I'm not even going to go into right. Okay, let me put MP, UK MP. I can't find it. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong, guys. I might be massively wrong on this. I might be massively wrong on this. I thought Ayub Khan was one of the MPs who stood up in Parliament and said, you know what? Actually, having kids with your cousin is actually a good thing because you get to keep the house in your family and you get to keep like stronger family ties. And I'm like, that's just... Mate, that's just weird. Can you imagine where the world would be right now? Can you imagine where the world's going to be right now? Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going... Yes, who just put that? Yeah, Donna. So Donna's saying more than 700 700 officers to be deployed. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about on this live stream, guys. And that has been the crux of this live stream. It is absolutely bonkers. Now, if you got... Oh, hang on a minute. Somebody just said, yeah, he did. Who said, yeah, he did? Right. Somebody just said, yeah, he did. Right. Okay. Right. Philip Gray is saying, yes, he did. Right. I thought he did. I can't find it in the thing, but yeah, you know, he did. Right. Where's Donna's comment gone? Where's Donna's comment gone? Donna, where are you, Donna? Where's Donna gone? Right. Donna did do a comment. Oh, there it is. So Donna's comment here, guys, is what I've been talking about on this live stream. You guys have got 2 days left to prepare. And I would say if you live in Birmingham right now, evacuate if you can. So get yourself out of that area. I would say there's only a 10% chance of that football game not becoming, not becoming violent. There's so many groups going to be going down there. The United Kingdom right now is an absolute powder keg, guys. It's an absolute powder keg. The things that I found, I've talked about the different councillors, but the thing I find, and look, guys, call me whatever you want in the chat later on. It's totally fine. Send me inboxes. I'm not a football guy. I'm not a football guy. I'm giving you guys what I'm reading on mainstream media, right? If somebody wants to, if you want to call me whatever, just present me with the information, guys, okay? Present me with the information and let me look at it myself rather than just calling me names, because it doesn't work. So the information I'm getting from mainstream media, and that's all I've got to go on because I wasn't in Amsterdam in November 24. But in November 24, the authorities have said that the football game between Ajax and what's the other one? Maccabi Tel Aviv, there was lots of fighting, there was lots of violence, and they're saying that this was anti-Semitic. Okay, so now Birmingham Council are counselling these guys because they're worried the Israelis are going to be anti-Semitic. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. It doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense at all. But listen, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Just keep that one in a back burner. If you guys live in Birmingham, around that area, and you know what? The way the United Kingdom is right now, even if you don't live in that area, just be aware that that is going to happen, and that could have a greater effect, and that could flare up into other regions. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Yes, I will, good sir. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. Try not to get yourselves involved in a stabby or a rammy, and everybody will be good. Everybody will be good, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you guys in the morning.